of introductory slides. I will move very quickly through these this morning and turn the presentation over to Andy, so we get to the heart of the webinar and presentation here this morning. Again, thank you all for joining. My name is TJ, one of the live marketing directors here at Insurance Agency Marketing Services. So let's get started. Real quick, if you have any questions, please just pop them in. I will get to them if we have an opportunity throughout the presentation. If there's a point where we can respectfully interrupt Andy's presentation and maybe answer a question, we will definitely do that. Or if you want to save them to the end, I'm sure Andy will be happy to address any questions. One thing that I'll also mention, just because of previous relationship and in many conversations with Andy, I know he makes himself available to all of you. Not just to myself, but if you want to speak with him directly, have any questions about North American or products in general, or today's highlighted topic, the Legacy Optimizer, he would be more than happy to just kind of unravel product or discuss product details, help you with cases you're working on. Obviously, that's what we're here for. But if you want a deeper dive, he does make himself available to do that through our relationship. So, all right, let's get going. Our IMES Business Builders program consists of two kind of subcategories. One would be our referred producer program. So how that kind of helps you increase your capital is when your referral, as you yourself, a contracted agent with us, when your referral contracts with us, we cut you a check for $50 just for the referral contracting. When that contracted referral does business with us, we cut you another check for $100, and then as that referral produces on a ongoing basis, we'll pay you 20 basis points written by your referral. The second part of that is our marketing reimbursement program. So for every $100,000 in premium, whether that's single premium life premium or annuity premium or a combination of both, but for every $100,000 in premium that you hit, we submit $200 in marketing reimbursement money in an account for you. And then out of that account, we pay 50% of your business-related expenses. So if you purchase leads, if you do upgrades to your office, any expense related to your business, client appreciation dinners, seminars, again, any expense related to your business, out of that marketing reimbursement account, we will pay for up to 50% of those expenses. So just a great opportunity to offset your costs of doing business. So if you'd like more information on that, or if you are a contracted producer with us and you've submitted some premium, you've got some single premium life cases submitted or some annuity cases submitted out there, you're not quite sure where you're at, give us a shout. Let's see where you're at, see if you have some marketing reimbursement dollars on the books. Next, our new producer builders program. So if you are within your first 6 months, or are in your first 6 months, with us, you have the opportunity to qualify for the new producer builders program. So you can hit one of these 3 levels within your first 6 months and qualify you for any one of these great opportunities. So at the $100,000 level, if you hit $100,000 in premium in your first 6 months with us, you would qualify for either a $750 cash bonus, a 2-year website service that covers the web hosting, design, all of that jazz, or the latest generation iPad. If you forego that, you want to shoot for the $300,000 in premium level in your first 6 months, that will qualify you for a Social Security program and 3,000-piece mailing, $2,000 in marketing reimbursement money, or a $1,500 Visa gift card. If you want to shoot for the stars, again, got many folks that will qualify for that. In one case, you would have a 5,000 piece opportunity for a 5,000 piece mailing and seminar coaching with one of our top producers, Matt Gill, 4,000 piece mailing and seminar coaching with another one of our top producers, Mr. Dave Pimper, or a customizable Ritz-Carlton travel package. So again, in your first 6 months of production with us, qualify for any one of those 3 levels. If you have any questions, reach out to us here at 1-800-255-5055. One of the things that I always like to kind of highlight, bring to your attention, if you are with us or considering coming on board with us as your IMO, is the back office support that we give you. We want to help you save time, help you work smarter and not harder. So what we do here as an organization, and what we've been doing for 30 plus years, is basically helping you do what you do best. And it's not sitting in the office pushing paper. It's staying in front of prospects and clients. So we want to provide the tools and resources for you, help with case design, get you the forms that you need, quotes, help with sales expertise, coaching, help you get contracted with the carriers that are going to best suit your clients' needs, and help you from a product availability and suitability standpoint. Everything that you need from submission to commission, we offer you. So again, we want to do everything that we can on the back side, kind of in the background, so to speak, so that you could be, at the forefront, out there doing what you do best. So maybe your, current relationship is not providing you the help that you need to be out there and be successful, to be in your communities, to be in front of the people that are going to help you be a success. And if that's not happening, we want to fill, in that role. So give us a call, 1-800-255-5055. We'd love an opportunity to assist you. Our creative marketing team, great group of folks, Josh Trecarton, Tasia Peterson, great individuals there in that department, extremely talented and, eager to help. So if you need help, if you're just getting in the business, or if you've been kind of in the business for a while, and there's some things, kind of changes that you need to make, or things that you've been wanting to do for a long time when it comes to your marketing needs, but you've not had the resources, or you really didn't know where to go. We have full turnkey solutions, that will help you get going in that direction. So if you need help, just simple help like logo design, business cards, brochures, stationery, to website service, or email marketing, online newsletters, anything like that, social media marketing. We've done some webinars recently that help you with your exposure on Facebook, how to do Facebook ads, how to optimize your Facebook and LinkedIn profiles. Any kind of assistance that you need in that area, please do not hesitate to reach out to our creative marketing team. Again, they are eager and willing to help you, and an extremely talented group of individuals. Again, ask for Josh or Tasia. Our intern Logan Lucas is also a great resource in that department as well. You can reach them at 1-800-255-5055. They're awaiting your call. Always encourage you to go visit us on the web at www.imsinc.com. A wealth of resources and tools out there for you on the website. If you're a contracted agent with us, you'll have login information to access our forms library and our quote tools as well. Our Retirement Analyzer software is a program that was developed by agents for agents. It gives you a repeatable sales process that leads you through the fact-finding process straight to the sale. So if you are looking for a great fact-finding tool that you can use with every client, with every prospect, reach out to the folks on our annuity marketing team, and they can tell you how that might you might qualify for a free version of that. 1-800-255-5055. Back in January, late January, as a response, proactive response to what was to come with the DOL, and to make ourselves more available and relevant to a larger segment of the of producers, we launched IMES Wealth Management. So we are a registered investment advisory firm as well. So if you are a investment advisor representative, Series 65 licensed individual, we are here to serve you in that capacity. So you would be able to offer a full range of products and services, through our wealth management team. If you would like more information on how you might align with us in IMES Wealth Management, I want to launch a quick poll, and I'd love to get you some additional information out on IMES Wealth Management. If you'd like to hear from Charles Hiring Jr. or Mike Hansen on our IMES Wealth Management team, just click yes, and I will get your information along to them. I'll just leave that open for a couple quick seconds, and then we'll continue to move on. All right, thank you very much for those who reached out. I will pass your information along to them. Our Life and Annuity Academy, a 2-day producer training. It's an industry recognized event. We exchange sales ideas and strategies from some of our top producers. We talk about annuity case marketing, large life case marketing, business insurance concepts, wealth transfer tools. It's just a great event. We just ended our second academy for the year 2 Fridays ago. We actually had that one here at our home office in Omaha, Nebraska. It was a great time. We had about 35 individuals that we brought out from across the country. Just a great event, coveted event. By those who are familiar with our Life and Annuity Academy. It's something that we do 2 or 3 times a year typically, and we open it up to a limited number of folks. We fully sponsor the Academy, so we fly you out, we put you up, we feed you, show you a good time, and pour into you from an educational standpoint. So if you are interested in attending our Life and Annuity Academy, we do have one more coming up for the year. It's the first week in November. And if you'd like more information on how you might be able to attend, just click yes, and we'll reach out to you on that and get you some additional information. Again, I'm going to leave this open for another about 5 seconds so we can move forward and get to the heart of our presentation. Again, thank you for expressing your interest. I will reach out to those who clicked yes. Our 2018 Marketing Summit will be February 25th through the 28th in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's 4 days and 3 nights. It's a producer, social, and educational event. Rated one of the best hotels in Arizona, a great golf resort. If you're interested in attending the Boulders Resort and Spa and in our 2018 Marketing Summit, give us a call. February 25th, 28th, 2018, 1-800-255-5055. Again, thank you for joining us this morning. Very eager to give the mic over to Andy Backegard so he can talk to us about North American's Legacy Optimizer. And Andy, there you go, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me get this thing kicked off here. Perfect. Well, thank you everyone, and thank you TJ for the introduction. I do a lot of these, or quite a few of these for IAMS, and I'm always amazed at the what they're putting back into the advisors that are working through them. Not every marketing company does that, but they are from A to Z. They're covering from industry training to marketing campaigns, to everything else along the way. So kudos to them for that, and thank you for letting me be a very, very small part of that. Now, what we're going to talk about today is something, if you're writing with North American, or you're familiar with our company and products and processes, then this is going to be something a little different than what you're probably used to. It's us getting into kind of a new market space, and we're really excited about it. We're excited not only about just having a new product, but also some of the new processes that will help you. I heard TJ say from submission to commission, and that's numbers that we track, and getting you from the point of putting a piece of business in to our home office to getting you paid is a very important part of what we do on a daily basis, and obviously that has an impact on you as far as making sure that you have the revenue out there to take part in some of those additional programs and continue to drive that business. So our goal here is to shorten up that time frame, and that's really what we're going to talk about with the Legacy Optimizer. Not only the product, but also the process that we are putting in place to get you from submission to commission as quickly as possible. So our first order here is to let you know that these disclosures do apply to this presentation in its entirety. If you do want a copy of the presentation, feel free to reach out to me directly or to your marketing representative at IAMS, and they'll be able to get you a copy of this presentation. So what we want to first jump into is us as a company, and I know we don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but what you want to make sure, especially when you're talking about single premium type products, which is what we're going to discuss today, is am I working with a company that is strong and stable? And at North American, we really pride ourselves on our ratings. We work hard to maintain ratings, and that's not just to benefit us, it's to benefit you. So what you're putting in front of your clients is high quality product and a high quality company that they are entrusting with their life insurance and their single premium dollars. So as far as the ratings go, we're A+ rated through AM Best, S&P, and Fitch. As far as rankings go, everybody likes to see some stats, and what you'll notice is that we're not doing national marketing campaigns. We're not on park benches. We don't have a blimp. But with that being said, we are the 5th largest writer of individual life insurance in the independent channel. So the channel that you all are writing in, we're the 5th largest writer of life insurance in that channel. That's based on new premiums. We're the 10th largest writer overall. So when you lump us in with New York Life and some of the big captive agencies, we are the 10th largest writer overall. And we can really attribute a lot of that, the ratings, and our ability to get our message out to the fact that we are under private ownership. So we are owned by an ESOP. So the employees that you work with, within our home office, myself included, are a part of that ESOP. So we have a vested interest in the direction of the company, and most of us take a lot of pride in that, and we want to make sure that we're providing the best service. We're providing products that not only are going to be what's right today, but also they're going to be what's right going forward, and we can price them to kind of maintain the integrity of the product. So that's just a quick overview of what our company looks like as far as our ratings and some of our statistics go. So to really jump into it, and then this is what I want you to think of, while we're going through this process, is think of some clients that you're working with, that you've worked with in the past. Maybe some situations where maybe you've passed over some dollars, just because of the type of funds they were. The clients wanted to keep them liquid, or they were earmarked for legacy distribution. So think of your clients, the people that you see on a daily basis that are 50 to 80 years old. that reason for that is that's the age range of this policy, have their retirement resources and emergency funds really taken care of. So, what we want to think about, and obviously, many of you on the line today do, retirement planning, and we do a lot of that with our life insurance product as well. But we're kind of going to separate ourselves from that, and we want to make sure that they have that in place, and that may be something that you can help with. But this is kind of a different scenario. We're looking more for those legacy funds. In the range of 25 to 200,000. And this is going to be in that discretionary fund. Typically they're parked in a low interest bearing account. We're going to talk about what effect that really has on those funds to the client a little later on. But again, think of that 25 to $200,000 range, and then clients that want to leave that chunk of money as a legacy to their beneficiaries. This is the who do you know, and again, what I always suggest is actually writing those names down, so that when TJ and the team at IAMS gives you a call to follow up on this call today, you can say, hey, I have Mr. and Mrs. Jones. This would be a perfect scenario for this product. But really write those down so you have a specific client that you're working with, and it might be me that reaches out to you. So we want to be able to help you in any way that we can. So what's the real opportunity here? And again, I don't think that we're looking at this as every dime that's available is going to go into the legacy optimizer, but there's a huge opportunity, and I can pretty well say that everyone on the phone today counts on baby boomers as at least a chunk of the business that they're doing. There's a huge number of clients. There's 75 million potential clients that fall within that baby boomer range. And the reality is that a lot of the wealth in our country that's available is in that age category as well. So there's a potential of $30 trillion in assets that's going to pass from the baby boomers to their Gen X and millennial children. So the baby boomers, probably the current clients that you're really chasing after, the Gen X and millennial children, where you might not think that they're going to be a potential client, that's really where we're seeing agents and agencies really build their book of business and build that book of business to sustain into the future. And they're going to be the recipients of a lot of that money. So we want to make sure that we're taking care of them today, so that in the future, when that opportunity arises, we can really help them, kind of navigate their way through it. When we talk about opportunities, a lot of times, we just think of all the positive things, but an opportunity a lot of times, comes from you helping your clients to negotiate through a major concern, or maybe, a potential negative that could happen in their future if they don't make a change. So some of those concerns are, having access to emergency funds. We want to make sure that, that the baby boomer, has access to their funds. These are, typically earmarked for beneficiaries, but there's a very nice, potential peace of mind that comes from having access to those funds. And when we talk about emergency funds, we're talking about, maybe potential medical emergencies, and we'll certainly address that within this policy. Maybe just a need to get at a chunk of change. It could be a home repair, or another emergency, a big major car repair, something along those lines. So again, access to funds is very important. Long-term care and chronic illness. I know that in my time in the insurance industry, the long-term care marketplace has really evolved, and it's really evolved from the buying a $200 a day benefit to a lot of the single premium chronic illness riders, those types of products. And the reasoning is that the long-term care market is very tough to price, and what we've seen in recent years is that there's a lot of carriers that are exiting that market space, and the ones that are in it are really having to either raise prices or make adjustments within their overall business portfolio to maintain those long-term care policies. It's a major concern, and if you're talking with a baby boomer and they have not done any long-term care planning, it should be certainly a topic of conversation. When we look at the statistics, and again, this is something you can throw out to your clients. Once your client reaches age 65, there's nearly a 70% chance that they'll need some form of long-term care services at some point in their life going forward. So when you're sitting down with a husband and wife, if you have 10 clients that come in on a daily basis, 7 out of those 10 are potentially going to need some form of long-term care, or chronic illness, coverage later on in life. So we want to really make sure that we've addressed that concern. And again, we're going to do that within the policy that we discussed today. And then finally, and probably most importantly for this type of money, is we want to make sure that this wealth transfers efficiently from generation to generation. So, obviously, we're talking about life insurance, and there's, really no better way to efficiently transfer, wealth from generation to generation. So those are some of the concerns. The good thing is that there are solutions out there, and you definitely have a solution with our Legacy Optimizer policy. And we really want to show you, some ways that you can position this with your customers to really create, that sales opportunity. So we're going to see this chart. This chart's going to show you, really, a very basic breakdown of a typical client. And we have, the retirement funds. That's the big portion. And for these, baby boomers, the retirement funds are really the now money. That's the money they're using, to live on a day-to-day basis. Their discretionary funds, we kind of tag those as later money. That's money that they might use later, in life. And then the legacy assets, we look at, maybe never type money. We say never money, but we also want to have, some of that liquidity. And that little green chunk is really what we're targeting today, the darker green. And that's that never money, the legacy money, that the goal is to leave it to the beneficiaries. But along the way, as we kind of look down that path, we want to make sure that if things do change and we have some, major changes, whether it's a hospitalization or again, that need for that chronic illness coverage, that we do have some outs. We want to make sure that we have the ability to get at those funds, maybe even leverage it into a higher amount for that client. And we're going to show you really what that looks like, on the, all the different fronts that we're looking at, the life insurance portion, the chronic illness portion, and then the cash value side of things as well. So we're going to look at 3 different things today, and you see the word simple. We want to create a simple objective. We want to look at some of those objectives that the client may have. We want to look at the solution, which is obviously going to be the life insurance policy, and then the process. What is it going to take? What steps is the client going to have to take? What steps are you as the advisor going to have to take to get this policy put in force? So let's first take a look at the objectives. And your typical objectives here are leaving to the beneficiary. The ideal situation is that we want to leave this money to the beneficiary. But, as all of us probably know, if you've, had situations within your family or, within your group of friends, is that no matter how well we plan for what's going to happen in the future, we could have a very specific roadmap that we're trying to follow. Things change along the way. We know that we can't predict everything. We can't predict medical emergencies, different things that happen, loss of a job, whatever that may be. So we want to make sure that these clients not only have that legacy, that death benefit, but we want to make sure they have access to the funds, just in case that the end goal of leaving it to the beneficiary isn't really fulfilled. So what are some of the challenges that these clients face? And this is challenges that when you see the list, you're going to say, this isn't only for clients, this is for me. It's not only for you guys, it's for us as an insurance company, it's for the industry in general. So some of the challenges that we see, in general in our industry is we're in a historically low interest rate environment. What we want to do is really look at what does that have as an impact on this legacy money, that safe money that the clients, leaving in that low interest bearing account. What does that really look like to them as far as their spending power? Taxes and inflation, this is kind of that unavoidable truth, is that we're going to, eventually have to pay, taxes on this money, and inflation is going to have an impact on the spending power, the purchasing power that we have, within those funds. And then being risk averse, and we want to, with those legacy funds, we want to make sure that there is a risk averse option that maybe gives them a little more, leverage. And when we talk about being risk averse, we really lend ourselves to that low interest rate environment. People have come to the conclusion that if I want to have my money safe, if I want to keep it, in a safe spot, I'm also going to, have a low interest rate that I'm going to get paid on those funds. And we really want to maybe give another option, that maybe that we don't have to just kind of lay down and take that low interest rate as the only option that we have available. So we're going to look at, a little illustration here. Here's our bucket, and the water coming in is that 0.5 to 2% interest that we're earning on a yearly basis. So we're looking at more of that, CD type earnings, money market type of account. So that's the money coming in, and ideally, we would just, as the money goes in the bucket, our bucket fills up, and we, can take that bucket home, or pull the money out and spend it. But what really happens is we're going to get some spillage, and we're going to have 20 to 30% in taxes that are going to come out on an annual basis. That's on a 1099 basis. We're also going to have our inflation. And if we look at the 100-year average of inflation, it's about 3.22%. So we're looking at, now not only do we have some of those taxes spilling out of the bucket, but that inflation is causing, some leaks. And we want to show the client, not scare them, but show them what effect that really has on their money. So here's a really simple, easy illustration that you can use to illustrate, what the real spending power of your client's funds are. So if we have $100,000, we put it into our CD, we earn 1% interest on a yearly, on a 1 year, snapshot. Simple math tells us that at the end of the year, we've got $101,000 of money sitting in the account. But what happens when we, take the taxes out? So again, this is a 1099 situation. You're going to get taxed every year on the growth within your policy. So if we have a 25% federal and state tax of $250, our $101,000, right away is now $100,750. So if we look at that, and now we actually apply the inflation rate, at the end of a year, our $100,000 that we put in to the bank is now worth $97,500 roughly. So we put $1 in our pocket, we pulled out, 97 cents. That's not a good scenario to be in. That's a 1 year snapshot. What happens if we, project this out over a 10-year period? And as you can see, 10 years later, our 100,000 now has a purchasing power, based on the taxes and inflation of 77,679. So again, that scenario, put $1 in your pocket, you pull out 3/4. That's not a positive situation. So what's the solution? What are some options? And again, we're looking at this scenario where this money that we're talking about is earmarked to go to the beneficiaries. So is there a way that we can reposition those funds to really help mitigate some of that, the risks that we have with taxes and inflation? So what's our solution? What we're going to look at is actually a single premium wealth transfer vehicle. We're not only going to look at just, how we can, build some tax deferred cash value, but we're also going to look at a death benefit and how can we leverage, those funds into a higher death benefit for the beneficiaries. We're going to have cash value growth potential. It's going to be an indexed policy, so we're going to have some strong cash value growth potential. The death benefit is going to be guaranteed, and we're also going to have some liquidity features. And again, this is for that, kind of trying to cover all the bases. We want to make sure, again, the end goal is to leave this money to the beneficiaries. But along the way, as the needs of the client change, do we have the ability to get in there and get at some of that cash value or some of that accumulation value in case there is an emergency situation that comes up? So the idea of the death benefit is going to be to leverage that single premium into a higher death benefit day one, $1. Again, create that opportunity, for the beneficiaries to have a little more coming their way. Efficiency, as we all know on the line here, one of the most efficient ways to transfer wealth is utilizing life insurance, and it's going to pass to the beneficiaries generally income tax free. And as long as we structure it properly, it's going to fall outside of the probate process. And those are two of the things that really, can kind of kill a beneficiary is, paying taxes, on their inheritance, and then also having to go through that, probate process. And we want to avoid that if we can, at least with this portion of the funds. Along the way, just the death benefit and the efficiency would be great, but we also want to have the ability to grow some cash value, grow the death benefit, and create an even greater legacy going forward. So how are we going to do that? These are index policies. So when we look at our cash value growth potential, it's going to be based on index credits. And within this policy, if you've again, this is something a little different than what we're typically doing. At North American, we have two different index strategies that you can choose, and then a fixed account. The two different index strategies are going to, again, just to keep it very simple, we have the S&P 500 annual point to point with a cap, and then we have the S&P 500 annual point to point with a spread. So again, two individual options. We're going to kind of dive into what those look like on a credited rates and historical rates in a couple slides here. We also have a guaranteed premium bonus. So when we're looking at this policy, we're going to credit some guaranteed interest to the client. Our premium bonus is 10%. Again, it's contractually guaranteed. It kicks in the 5th policy year. So you're going to have years 5 through 9. You're going to get credited 2% premium bonus based on the original premium that went into the policy. So again, this is a guaranteed premium bonus. So when we look at the index credits and how that affects the policy, here's a little snapshot that's pulled directly out of the illustration. This is a 20-year look back of what the actual rates of return have looked like. So when we take the rates or the caps and the spreads and apply them to the actual S&P 500, what does that look like on a historical basis? So in this scenario, we looked at our annual point to point with the cap 6.5%. Over that 20-year period, our average rate of return is about 4.4%. So very conservative growth. Again, that's kind of typical with these types of policies. But what are maybe some other options? Our second strategy is the S&P 500 annual point to point with the spread. And when we look at that, our average over that 20-year period is close to 8%. So again, two different options, two distinctly different options, two different end results, but it gives you the ability to make that decision and maybe offers that client a little more upside potential. So if we take this a step further and actually look at what are some of the historical averages when we're looking at those two strategies, what you can see is our max illustrated rate for both is going to be 4.23%. That's just based on the actuarial guidelines where we have to actually look at the annual point to point with the cap and the 65-year look back, and it comes in at 4.23%. But if we look again, kind of focusing on that annual point to point with the spread, when we look at the 5, the 10, the 20, all the way out to the 40-year look back, we're ranging anywhere from 6.6% to 7.8%. So again, kind of hovering around that 8% look back. We've got some very strong upside potential, within the policy. So just take that into account and really, again, think about what the potential upside is for the policy. Kind of look past that max illustrated rate. So as far as liquidity features, again, we really want to plan for, what the client's future plan is, which is leaving that money to the beneficiaries. But again, along the way, we don't know what's going to happen. If there's potential health concerns, some additional money that's needed for like we said, the car repairs, the home repairs. So we have our 10% surrender free or penalty free withdrawals that start at the beginning of year 2. So you're going to be able to get that 10% out of the contract. So we certainly have that as a liquidity feature. We've got a return of premium. So there's a return of premium feature that begins in year 5. And we push it after year 5 for a few reasons. The rating companies really don't like the early return of premium, and again, we want to keep those strong ratings for you and the clients. B, for you as a protection. As the advisor, the typical scenario that's going to happen is another agent's going to come from down the road from agency XYZ and potentially try to replace your policy. They have return of premium, in years, 1, 2, 3, in those early years, there's a potential that you're going to get charged back. So this really is a protection. It gives the client liquidity, in the form of the free withdrawal, but it doesn't give them 100% exit strategy right away. If they want to walk away at the beginning of year 5, they're more than welcome to take their premium and walk away from this policy. The other big liquidity feature, and it's maybe one that we don't think about as much, but it's the accelerated death benefit. We have opportunity here to accelerate death benefit for terminal or chronic illness, and we're going to address and actually look at some examples of that, a little later on here. But think about that as another, potential way to access that death benefit. And again, it's a leveraged death benefit. We've got more there than we would have, if we just left it sit in the bank CD or money market account that we were originally looking at. So let's take a look at a more of a hypothetical, asset allocation situation. So here's an estate, 70-year-old female, estate value of $475,000. We've got $300,000. So our big, purple chunk here is in the retirement funds. And again, if you're doing retirement planning, this may be an area that you want to address with the client. Maybe make some changes to help maximize their income stream, and maybe generate a little more positive income flow for your client. We're going to focus more on the discretionary funds, and then we're actually going to focus even on a smaller chunk of those discretionary funds. So instead of the full 175, we're actually going to look at $100,000. So here's a scenario where we've done the wealth transfer, $100,000 premium payment. We call it a premium payment, but to me, it's more of a repositioning. It's taking money and not necessarily writing a check for a premium. A lot of times when on the life insurance side of things, we're telling a client that we need to find additional money in your budget. So if we're talking about paying $500 a month for life insurance, we need to find $500 a month that you can put towards this life insurance plan. And it's probably a great scenario for the client. This case is literally, you're not asking them to write you a check out of their budget. We're saying we're just going to reposition this asset, and we're going to try to leverage it into more benefits for you. So here's what we're doing. Our $100,000, if we left it in the 1% taxable vehicle or the 2% tax deferred vehicle, gives us a 10-year death benefit of about $108,000 in the taxable vehicle, about $122,000 year 10 on the tax deferred vehicle. With a legacy optimizer, day one, dollar one, we've got $165,000 guaranteed. And in a 10-year period, that's a 5.1% internal rate of return. Again, thinking back to that inflation rate of 3.22%, we've now outpaced inflation. We know for a fact that the other two vehicles are not doing that. But when we look 10 years out, kind of like we did with the tax deferred and the taxable vehicles, we're looking at $175,393 in death benefit. That's utilizing that 4.23% illustrated rate, which again, we feel is pretty conservative number. That's a 5.78% internal rate of return. Again, even further outpacing that potential inflation rate. How about for chronic illness? We talked about the 7 out of 10 clients that you see that will potentially need some form of long-term care or chronic illness care. What does this look like? If we left things where they were at, we're looking at the 1% taxable vehicle having about $26,000 per year for a total of $105,760 in benefit. Tax deferred, about $29,000 for $115,000 in total benefit. With the legacy optimizer on a guaranteed basis, so this is again, worst case scenario is if we get no index credits, we've got our guaranteed death benefit. We've got $31,480 per year for a total of $123,200. That's on a guaranteed basis. Plus we have a $10,000 residual death benefit. So, we've kind of got that, built-in final expense policy in there as well. For the potential, based on our higher death benefit with the index credits, we've got about $34,000 per year, total of $133,000 plus that $10,000 residual death benefit. So again, the idea here is that we are just really putting the client in a better situation. We're giving them, higher access to that, money in case of that chronic illness. So again, just think about this. And again, when we're talking about these policies, how can we, really highlight the leverage that we're really providing to the client. So what does that look like? Again, this is just a very simple example, but here's our new breakdown. We've got our retirement funds. We've got that discretionary funds of $75,000. Now with the legacy assets, We've taken our $100,000, and again, we're not moving it. We're just, really repositioning what we're doing with those funds. We've turned our $475,000 estate value into 540. That's day one. That's just on the guaranteed death benefit. That's not taking into account any index credits or anything along those lines. So we've really improved their position, again, just with a quick reposition of an asset. You make a commission on that. The clients gets put in a potentially better situation, and we've got a guaranteed death benefit that's in place for those beneficiaries. So they're certainly taken care of there as well. So what's the kind of the process here? And that's really the last thing is how do we accomplish this? How easy is this going to be for the client? Is this going to be a nightmare for you as far as going through the underwriting process, as their advisor? What does this look like? And again, just a quick reminder here, the first part of the process is to identify prospects, and hopefully along the way you've all written down a few names, some people that you feel like you can meet here in the next couple of weeks, and try to position the Legacy Optimizer as a potential legacy wealth transfer vehicle for your clients. So who do you know ages 50 to 80, $25,000 to $200,000 in those legacy funds? So what we want to do next is make sure that we've met the goals and the objectives of your clients. So one of the goals is to retain access to the funds for an emergency. And we talk about the accelerated benefit opportunities with the chronic and terminal illness. That's some access there. 10% penalty-free withdrawals. We've got access there. Return of premium at the end of the 4th year. We've got access there. So I think we can definitely check that box. Being able to leverage the A for the death benefit and B for the accessible amount for chronic illness. We looked at those examples, and the leverage is pretty remarkable. We've got a great opportunity there. Again, that can be a great, oh, by the way, not only are we providing this great wealth transfer vehicle, but we've also have this access to that death benefit, in case of a chronic illness. So we certainly checked that box as well. Our goal to limit the impact of taxes. We've put this in a tax deferred basis, so we're not getting 1099 every year. So we've really eliminated that tax bill for the client, especially on funds that they really weren't planning on using. So the only time you're going to have a potential tax implication is if you go in and pull that money out of the policy. So we've really done that, and we've also limited the impact on those taxes to the beneficiaries. So we've certainly done that, and then on that same note, we've helped to kind of eliminate that potential risk of inflation. We've created a situation where we've outpaced inflation, and that's always a positive story to tell to your clients as well. And then finally, maximize the value to the beneficiaries. Again, our goal here was to transfer this wealth from generation to generation in an efficient and effective way. And we've leveraged our $100,000 in our example to a guaranteed 165, potentially 175 10 years down the road, and more beyond that. So as far as maximizing the value to the beneficiaries, I think we've done a really good job of that. Now, the $1 million question is, how do we get this done? This is as you can see on the screen, a different underwriting process than what you're probably used to, especially with North American. There's no fluids, no medical exam, so the client's not getting poked. They're not peeing in a cup. So what does this look like? It's a short application. Preferably we're utilizing the simple submit process. So we're going through that online application process. Again, it's very short, asking some kind of knockout questions to make sure that the client's a good fit. That's really where we start. Next is a short call to the underwriter. You're going to initiate the call as the advisor. They're going to go through some questions. At the end of that call, you're going to get the phone back, and the underwriter is going to tell you if this is a go or a no-go. So you have immediate feedback that you're going to get as soon as that client's off the phone with the underwriter. And then a quick decision. You're going to have the decision from the underwriter, basically, real time. But then we also want to look at, a little bit of financial underwriting. So, there's, a very quick turnaround time, but we're looking at, just a couple days to get a firm answer in your hands. And as soon as we get those funds, from either the transfer, the 1035 exchange, whatever the situation may be, you're going to have a policy turned over very quickly as well. So again, very simple and quick process, and we've seen the process go, very smoothly for the advisors that are utilizing this process. So just a quick kind of commercial here for our marketing site. We have a website. It's nalegacy.com. So if you want to write that down, it's nalegacy.com. And if we click on the link here, it's going to bring us to that site. And this is a great place for you to really go through and go through the process. What is it going to look like? There's some really nice material here. If we get started, there's a kind of a profile of the perfect client. There's some additional resources. We have a conversation piece. How do you start the conversation? We've got a quote engine, next steps, and then agent resources. So if we start the conversation, it's going to take you to a quick video, and this is really just going to run you through, a very high level of what the legacy optimizer looks, what the ideal client looks like for you. We've also got this quote engine, and I'm going to just quickly run through this with our exact example that we did today. So if we do our $100,000 for our 70-year-old female, non-tobacco, and what this does is it's going to look at a taxable financial alternative. It's going to look at your income tax rate. We're going to look at a similar scenario to what we did within the presentation. But it's going to give you this quick printout. It's going to show you the guaranteed death benefit. It's going to show you the accelerated benefit amounts for chronic illness, ages 65 to 79 and 80 plus. These are the guaranteed values. So this is your worst case scenario for your client is 31,480 or 33,460. And then it's going to give you the cost of doing nothing. And what it's going to look at is what's the life expectancy of the client, which in this case is 88, based on the inputs that we put in, the 25% tax bracket and a 1% rate of return. The non-guaranteed financial alternative is going to look at about $114,000 of benefit going to the client at that time. We've got a guaranteed $165,000. So again, just a nice little snapshot that you can utilize with your clients, or figure out if it's the right situation for your customers. The next steps is really going to take you through what do you have to look forward to. Here's the preliminary questions that you want to ask your clients to make sure they qualify. Here's the process of completing the application step by step. And then here's some marketing materials. So it gives you kind of what to expect next, and then some of the agent resources that we have. So that's, again, really what we're looking at with Legacy Optimizer. At this point, I'm going to turn things back over to TJ. If you want to open or go through the questions, we can certainly do that at this point as well. So TJ, back to you.
Hey, thank you so much, Andy. Appreciate that. Great opportunity for our attendees and by a great company. Just really appreciate the way that that you guys have that lined out, Andy, and some of the tools that you showed there at the end. I know we don't have a lot of time here at the end, and so I don't want to. There's a lot that I wanted to say, but don't want to get us into too lengthy of a conversation. I just will reiterate something that I mentioned at the close of my portion at the beginning, that I'm obviously available for further discussion, as is Andy. And so please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Real quick here, just going to launch a quick poll. If you would like access to what I think is an amazing opportunity and product on the single premium life side with North American, with the Legacy Optimizer product, just simply let us know. If you'd like more information on contracting with North American, just a simple click of the yes button and I'll get some information out to you. If you'd like more information on single premium life in general, get some information out to you on that. Just again, click yes. We'll be sure to follow up with you. I do have a question here. It's kind of broken up into it's very segmented, and I can't piece it all together. Mirage, if you're out there and can hear me, um, it'd probably be best that you give me a shout. Like I said, it's your question is broken up into about 10 different segments, and so it's a little difficult to piece it all together. So if you could either shoot me an email, just with one, uh, a couple sentences or a paragraph, that'd be better, and I'll get right back to you. You can email me, Mirage, at TJ. That's T like Tom, at IAMS Inc. That's IAMSINC .com, and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, feel free to reach out here at 1-800-255-5055. Again, TJ Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Again, want to thank everyone for attending here today. Andy, thank you for presenting an awesome product, and great opportunity, I think, for our agents to align with a great company. Really happy to see North American in this space. We think a lot of you, and you guys are great, carrier that we really respect and love around here. So to see you in the space is really encouraging, and I think you have a great product. So again, please don't hesitate to reach out for additional information. I want to remind you also that Andy Backyard has made himself available to our contracted agents for any assistance that you may need. So if you'd like, Andy's contact information, if you're a contracted agent with us, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll put you in contact with Andy, or, get a message to him to have him reach out to you as well. So thank you for attending our webinar. If you're looking for more education, more opportunities, sales concepts, please visit the website, www.imzinc.com. Take a peek at our webinar calendar. I'm sure the rest of our week is full of opportunities. So register for our webinars later this week. I know on Friday, the life side will be coming out to you with another single premium life educational opportunity. I think just more generic in nature on the concept in general. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you again. Have a great rest of your Monday. Have a great week. Andy, thank you again. We'll talk to you soon.